Hey friends, let's have a little book chat about the handbook for Catholic moms. So lately I've been doing like a random video related to the topic of the week for the book club. But this week I just kind of wanted to go through the chapter and talk about it because this chapter was actually really good. And I don't mean that like, oh, it was actually good. But I feel like the body chapters were a little rough to get through for me, especially because my opinions are really different than the author's. And so I was kind of disenchanted with the book a little bit, to be honest. And then we got to this prayer section, or spirit, or whatever this section's called, and the first one's on prayer. And wow. Yeah, I was impressed. So if you're brand new, we're actually doing a summer book club. You can follow along with us, even if you haven't been doing it. It doesn't matter. All we do is talk about each chapter, and it's a topic related to motherhood. So, like I said, it's prayer this week, and I'm looking for the chapter. Here we go. I don't want to edit this video because I got a lot of videos to edit right now. So be on the lookout for some fun stuff coming. But anyway, this is going to be a raw video. So there's lots of ums and lots of so's and lots of yeah. So, yeah. All right. I love what she says right at the beginning. She's talking about prioritizing prayer and how she prays constantly throughout the day, and that she felt a lot of guilt for not being able to pray like as much in the quiet. And so yeah, I get that. I totally get that, because that's the way I pray too. I pray constantly, and when I can, in the quiet. I have a video on prayer in the context of motherhood with stuff in the catechism and everything. If you want to watch that, go for it. But yeah, so I could definitely relate to that. And then she talks about other moms that are doing that. She talks about having a place and a time for prayer, and like making the time to pray instead of just kind of like waiting for it to happen. So that's really smart. And then including your children in your prayers. Like when you are praying with your children, since especially if you have small children, you're with them 24/7. And if you're a homeschool mom, you're always with them. But if you make prayer a habit as a family, then you get it done because you're doing it together. And then anything above and beyond that is like bonus. It's like really cool. So today I got to sit in the very front of Mass, which is unusual for me because I'm usually in the back in the quiet room with my youngest and my middle child, and my husband and my oldest, they sit in the church. Well, today my husband and I switched, and I was in the church and he was in the back. What a saint. And wow, I didn't realize how much I'd been missing being in the church. Being with the toddler and the 5-year-old. It's been kind of tough, and Mass hasn't been very fulfilling for me, as far as like feeling it or making like feeling rejuvenated when I'm finished. It just feels like, oh, made it, finished the race, yay. But today I finished Mass and I felt incredible. I felt so incredible. So I know that no matter how I perceive Mass, the sacrifice of the Mass happens. And as long as I can constantly put my mind to that, I can know intuitively that it is valuable for me to be there. It's valuable that I'm participating in this sacrifice of the Mass, even if I don't really feel it, But today I felt it, and it was so nice. And I just have to remind myself that all those times that you feel it, that you just get that like, it's a grace. It's a grace from God that he gives you. And I was so thankful that grace was given to me today. And when she talked about having that quiet time to pray, I mean, it just reminded me of that because, you know, we go without it and then we get in our routines and we pray, you know, maybe night prayers with your kids and you pray before meals and you pray your rosary or whatever you do as a family. And then sometimes your personal prayer can slip, and not that you don't do it, because it's that constant prayer like she talks about earlier. You're washing dishes, you're like talking to God like on Fiddler on the Roof, like she talks about, you know, Tevye and his conversations that are almost comical. It's like, oh hey, good morning. But sorry, I'm rambling, but I lost my train of thought. This is what an unedited video is like. Don't you guys like it? So we're going on and on and on with our busy lives and our constant prayer, but we can often not take the time to do the personal prayer. And I don't think that that's evil or sinful or even like something to feel guilty about. But if you can make the extra sacrifice to make that time, I think it's so worth it because it feels so good. It feels so good. So right now I'm sitting in my prayer corner. It's not finished yet. It's just actually getting started. But I have like a bunch of prayer cards that I hope to put in here and like just kind of have things that inspire me, like journals, and you know, have my fitness stuff, like my food journal and my, you know, calendar and my planner, and just kind of have everything in this corner. So like I can just come here first thing in the morning. It's my closet. Shut the door, turn the light on, because that's the thing in the morning. Like you don't want to wake anybody up. And turn the light on and then just sit in this corner and pray and plan the morning. And, you know, got the water bottles. You just have a drink of water. So this is kind of my effort to reclaim my personal prayer time. And then another thing I was thinking about incorporating when the school year starts, and maybe this will be possible, maybe it won't, I don't know, but I'm thinking about taking the time to do adoration at least once a month, if not weekly. But that would be really cool because I always feel wonderful after going to adoration, and because of my husband's crazy schedule, that hasn't been something I've been able to do on the regular, sadly. But yeah, so for the homework, she talks about adoration, creating a schedule for daily prayer in your life, like have an appointment for God, create a sacred space in your home, a simple prayer chair or corner, where you and your children can go quietly to pray or read. So we do have a family altar where, or we did. I don't know that we really have it anymore. We kind of have it. We had a family altar where we had all the stuff like the sacramentals and the, you know, rosaries and statues that we have. And that was kind of where we could go. Right now, most of that stuff we're repainting and we're doing all sorts of construction on our house. So that stuff lives on top of the piano right now. So it's not quite the same, but we still have it in a central location. I have this box of books that there's all sorts of prayer cards and Catholic books and kids' Catholic books. So that box, I just love grabbing that box sometimes in the morning, or, you know, the kids can grab it and just like grab something that they, you know, just want to read. And it's just, I feel like it's just inspiring to have good Catholic literature, you know, like that. So that's what we do, our little box. We don't have an altar right now because of all the craziness, but we do have a box, a yellow box. Investigate prayer groups and women's groups in your parish or join a prayer community online. Oh, wow, I didn't even mention that. So I'm part of like a faith sharing group of women in my area, and that's been really cool because it's extended my prayers beyond my little village of, you know, my home. It's made me more aware of others that, you know, have different problems or blessings, just different dynamics in their family, and sharing you know, our faith together. So we meet once a week. I don't go every week, but that has been really cool too, because it's just really expanded my scope, I guess. Yeah. And begin a prayer journal or a simple list of intercessory prayer intentions. I love the idea of a prayer journal. There was a point where I was writing down who I'm praying for. Like every time, like, you know, you see something on Facebook or like somebody texts you or calls you or something gets brought to your heart and you're like, oh, I'll pray for you. I'll pray for you. And like you do, like what I always do is like I always pray for them immediately because I don't want to forget. But then oftentimes you can forget and, you know, for a time. And so what I started doing is I started writing who I'm praying for, and like I just write their name. So there's no private information written down, but I just write their name, and so I would know like, okay, that's right. And then every time I would, you know, get to my prayer corner, I'd pull that out and be like, oh yeah, let's have the special intention there. So writing it down makes a big difference. I love journaling, but it's like, the thing is actually looking at it, right? That's my problem. So hope you enjoyed this video, just chatting it up. And yeah, I would love to know like some of your tips, tricks for getting prayer in, and you know, how, you know, do you understand what I'm saying by like the getting through the prayers, you know, and versus like feeling it? Like, do you understand that distinction that I'm making there? Because yeah, we can go like months and months of feeling just like totally dry, but it's still worthwhile. And like, I just really want to, I think I've said that so many times on this channel, it is still worthwhile to continue even throughout those periods of spiritual dryness. So anyway, God bless you. I hope that you're doing so fantastic. If you're new here, please hit subscribe. And those of you who have been here and, you know, you're still watching, thank you. I'm so blessed to have you. I'll be praying for you. Take care. Bye.